You missed some important news from the LGBTQ plus community this week. To ensure you are current, we are recapping that important news. Here's what you may have missed.
Are gay neighborhoods designed to exclude women? WeHo, Boys Town, Wilton Manors, are you listening? Gay neighborhoods, like all neighborhoods, are in a state of continual change. The relevance of gay neighborhoods originally formed to promote segregation of individuals who identify as sexual minorities is lately challenged by advances in technology, experiences with the pandemics, shifts in generational opinion, and social values increasing acceptance of LGBTQ plus individuals and status of LGBTQ plus women within these gay neighborhoods. While acceptance for the LGBTQ plus community overall is increasing, the acceptance of women within the community is questionable in terms of inclusivity. Even cultural events and social gatherings arranged by LGBTQ plus friendly organizations and establishments, including clubs, libraries, and prides, seem to focus more on gays. A BBC study confirms that the number of gay men featured on television is much higher than the number of gay women. This is partly due to the strong patriarch undercurrents that have shaped women's lives. Lesbians have remained largely invisible, waiting in the dark. So some of America's largest, quote, gayborhoods may mean just that.
RuPaul's Drag Race comes out swinging on drag queen hysteria. The contestants of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 15 are confronting anti-drag hate in the show's latest episode. Last week, the queens performed in a Wig-Loose Rusical, a reimagined version of Footloose, where a local teacher is attempting to ban drag, as the queens opened up about their fears of new laws. As the queens prepared their makeup for the Wig-Loose Rusical, they discussed their fears about doing drag given the onset of anti-drag hysteria around the country. The premise of Wig-Loose hit close to home for the queens as legislation has been passed in Tennessee to prevent drag performers from having shows outdoors and in front of children. Other states, including Texas, Wisconsin, Kansas, and Nebraska, have introduced similar legislation. At one point, Sasha Colby, a trans drag legend based in Los Angeles, asked Mistress Isabel Brooks if she feels on guard when doing drag in her home state of Texas, where legislators are, similar to Tennessee, attempting to categorize drag performances as sexually oriented business and remove them from the public eye. Brooks says, most definitely. Late last month, conservative Twitter targeted a performance by Brooks. During the episode's confessional, Colby expressed her worry about the future of drag and gender expression and how proposed laws are preventing queer people from being themselves openly.
Supreme Court deciding if anti-trans law should go into effect. What could be the single most important transgender rights case in American history has reached Chief Justice Roberts' desk. He's being asked to allow a West Virginia law banning trans student athletes from competing with the gender they identify with to go into effect. Becky, a middle school student in West Virginia, is asking to be allowed to play in girls' sports, but is prevented by the new state law. A jury never got to decide the case, as the judge alone ruled against her in summary judgment at the circuit or trial court level. She's asking the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals to hear the case, and they granted a stay during the process. West Virginia and its allies are asking the Chief Justice to lift the stay and let the law go into effect. He could make the decision or refer it to the entire court for a vote. No matter what is decided now, the Fourth Circuit will likely hear the case and eventually could end up on the High Court's docket, which would then set the stage for a seismic ruling on how trans people are treated under the law.
Donald Trump is going to be arrested this week and asked for another January 6th attack on America.
Well, y'all, Trump has channeled that one trashy cousin we all got and made an all-cap social media post talking about, they're going to take me to jail and it's a bunch of bull crap. I was a little surprised. I'm not going to lie. I never thought I'd see the day. I didn't. I mean, a rich, powerful white guy facing consequences for his actions, that ain't a thing here. This is America. But Trump treats crimes like Pokemons, and I guess at a certain point, even a system designed to protect people like him felt like it had to do something. Sort of like if you're a defensive end, a veteran defensive end in the NFL going against a flashy young quarterback, the refs will probably let you get some shots in on him, all right? They'll let you get away with some stuff. It's sort of an unspoken agreement. But if you spear him in the face, twist his ankle, and then start teabagging his unconscious body, you're probably going to get flagged for that. Right, which I feel like the equivalent of what happened to Trump here. But look, I'm still a little skeptical. Like, I don't know if we'll ever see him in jail or anything, although that would be hilarious. He's in there bragging about all the prison deals he's made, just talking about trading 2 ramen for 4 cigarettes like it's the Louisiana Purchase. It would be great, but I don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see. As opposed to Trump, who seems to prefer the piss and moan approach. In his social media post, he implored his mayonnaise legions to flood the streets in protest and, quote, take back our nation. Well, you'll excuse me for not quaking in my boots. I'm sorry, but in my opinion, the only thing these people are going to be taking back anytime soon is any fitness-related Christmas presents they got this year. Right? Not that worried. I think that Trump both vastly overestimates the number of people who would start a war for him and vastly underestimates the percentage of those people who are permanently attached to oxygen tanks. All right? I'm not really all that scared. It does tell you everything you need to know about Trump, though, right? Ever the petulant toddler, throwing a rage-fueled tantrum over the horrific injustice of having to abide by the same rule book that the rest of us adults live by every single day. As far as I'm concerned, it couldn't be happening to a better guy. But not everybody agrees. Marjorie Taylor Greene and the rest of the dumbass delegation are up in arms. She said, I hope you know, if you arrest him, he's going to be more popular than ever, which I feel like is not the flex she thinks it is. She's basically saying, oh yeah, well the only thing the Republican Party's base loves more than a narcissistic sexual assaulter is one with a criminal record, so what now? There's a great irony in these people talking about taking the country back, considering that's exactly what we did in 2020, right? The difference being we did so with democracy and the will of the actual people, and they're trying to do it with zip ties and a million mediocre mouth breathers. It's not the same thing, right? Because this isn't their country anymore. Right? They haven't won a popular vote in 2 decades, okay? They wouldn't be taking anything back. They'd just be stealing it, which I guess isn't surprising coming from the cult of the most prolific criminal the White House has ever seen. Party of law and order, my ass. Love y'all.
Well, that is comedian Trey Crowder, and he's kind of an unofficial reporter here at Queer News Tonight. He just was here at Sunshine Cathedral, and we thought instead of being MSNBC and giving you a report, we thought we would hear from a comedian about Donald Trump. Because former President Trump said in Truth Social post on Saturday morning he believes he will be arrested on Tuesday amid a Manhattan district attorney's investigation into hush money and payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels. If this happens, Trump would be the first sitting or former president in U.S. history to face criminal charges. In a separate post on Saturday morning, Trump said, America is now the third world and dying, and American patriots are being arrested and held in captivity like animals, while also being critical of crime, inflation, prisons, and mental institutions. The district attorney's office has invited Trump to testify before the grand jury as part of the investigation. Trump's lawyer, Joseph Tacopina, told CNBC that the former president will surrender to face criminal charges should he be indicted. Trump, who has 24-hour protection from the Secret Service, is currently living at his Mar-a-Lago estate here in Palm Beach. A grand jury in Manhattan could indict Trump for his alleged role in the hush money paid to Stormy Daniels before the 2016 presidential election. Daniels claims she had an affair with the former president, which Trump has denied. The grand jury in Manhattan has the power to turn the 2024 campaign on its head by indicting Trump. But there's no precedent for what is about to happen, leaving the United States political system in uncharted waters. We queer up LGBTQ plus civil rights. Trevor Project labeled a groomer organization, and panicked employees want to unionize. The Trevor Project is in crisis, according to many of the organization's staffers, so they've decided to unionize. In November, CEO Amit Paley was removed by the Trevor Project's board of directors in response to a letter signed by over 200 employees expressing dissatisfaction with the organization's rapid scale-up. Paley was replaced by co-founder Peggy Rotchke as interim CEO. Trevor has also come under assault from 4chan users clogging the organization's hotline with fake calls, verbal abuse, and death threats. The Trevor Project receives more than 200,000 calls a year, over 500 a day, runs a social media network called Trevor Space, and conducts a widely resourced annual survey on youth mental health, the largest of its kind. Now, the sum of these services, the turmoil in management, and the outside attacks are taking a toll on the people at the Trevor Project's front lines, some 300 paid staff, along with over 700 volunteers. Keep watching the only television news in the world from our LGBTQ+ community and stay informed on everything that is important for and about our diverse LGBTQ+ community.